Fiona Cincotta is an analyst at City Index, and I asked her whether she agreed with the Commission President that the bloc's vaccine record is something to be proud of.
Yes, I do think that it is a justifiable response. It did start off very slow, the vaccination programme in Europe, which worried a lot of people, and the financial markets included, but it actually managed to ramp up pretty well, and to get that rate of over 70% of the adult population vaccinated within the timeline that she said was actually quite impressive. So on that note, we really do have to take our hat off to her. And, you know, we can't misunderstand how important the vaccination programme is in order for economies to reopen and for businesses to get back to the daily business. So that really was a key feature for her, and I think a key achievement.
Also on the agenda, climate change. So more EU money is to be given to fighting it, and calls for other nations to do the same. Is what's been suggested enough, do you think, to help poorer countries meet those existing goals?
The climate change is a huge theme at the moment, and I think it will continue to be a huge theme as we continue across the year, through the next year, and across the decade. In fact, we have missed key points have been missed, and key targets have been missed as far as sort of cutting emissions and as far as investment to help those poorer countries cut emissions. And that's something that was really picked up on today. The EU are doing a lot to move forward and to change that, but I think there can always be more done. And she also pointed out that perhaps there are other countries, other developed countries, that are falling behind in their responsibilities as far as sort of putting that investment into those poorer countries is concerned.
So plenty of takeaways from this speech. Another one calls for Europe to be able to create its own chip-making system. Well, that makes sense given the global chip shortage, doesn't it?
Yes, a really interesting comment and development here, and I think a very ambitious one as well. Obviously, the global chip shortage has created a lot of problems. It's potentially slowing economic growth. We've seen that it's hit sort of industrial production. Car manufacturers, for example, have had to lower their production outlook because of this. So if Europe were able to create that sort of chip ecosystem, including the production that they're looking to do, then that could sort of prevent a problem like this occurring again. And it would bring the control very much back within Europe, as opposed to other countries over towards Asia where it is at the moment.
What did you make of what's been left out of her address? There was no mention of Brexit, for example.
That's right, and that was really interesting because I think the timing of this speech was actually quite key. If we think about where we've been over the past 2 years, where we've had the COVID pandemic and Brexit, these are two huge events. And the fact that Brexit was sort of been left out there was quite noticeable. Obviously, we did talk about the vaccine, so that was very much in there. But as far as Brexit and where that's moving, that was definitely avoided. I think there is sort of still a lot of sort of political sort of nervousness around the Brexit situation. It hasn't been completed. It doesn't feel like the Brexit solution has been tidily wrapped up yet. So I think that could be one of the reasons why it had been passed over.
Europe